This beautiful, elegant wedding cake is very easy to make and surprisingly economical. Wendy's going to help me show you how. The cakes are cooked when they feel springy to the touch, or a knife inserted in the centre comes out clean. Leave the cakes in the tins for a few minutes to cool a little, then turn each cake out of its tin onto a rack, remove any lining paper and leave them to cool completely while you make up the butter icing. With a sharp serrated knife, trim the top off each cake to make a flat surface. Divide the cake horizontally into 3 even layers. Spread the bottom layer with a little jam and then with about 1/4 of the butter icing. Do the same for the next layer and pile it on top. Put the top layer in position, then cover the whole cake thinly with butter icing. Repeat all this layering for all 3 tiers of the cake. Dust the work surface with a little sieved icing sugar and knead the white icing until it's soft and ready to be rolled out. Roll out the icing, dusting the rolling pin with a little sieved icing sugar if it begins to stick, until it's big enough to cover the whole cake. Lift the icing onto the rolling pin and then unroll it over the cake. Smooth the top and sides with your hands, easing it round as you go. Then trim the excess from around the bottom edge. Keep the trimmings in a plastic bag or cling film to stop them drying out. To support the weight of the cakes above, the bottom 2 layers will need pieces of doweling put in. We've done 1 layer and this is how you put them in. Each layer needs 4 dowels. Push them into the cake and cut them off flush with pliers to the top of the cake. Space the 4 out evenly and in a place where they won't be seen under the next layer of cake. Spread each dowel with a little royal icing, then position the next cake on its board on top. To cover the board of the bottom cake, using some of the ribbon or a tape measure, measure all round the edge of the board, then make a sausage shape out of some of the white icing and roll it out to make a strip. Check the length, but it'll stretch quite a bit as you put it on. Then trim the strip to roughly the right width, overdoing it rather than risking it being too narrow. Dampen the edge of the cake board, then unroll the strip onto the board, easing it round as you go. Overlap the ends and cut through both layers, removing 2 excess pieces, leaving a neat join. Then trim the excess from all round the edge of the board. To add the ribbon to each layer, add a little royal icing to one end of the ribbon and stick this to the cake. Overlap the other end and stick it with a little more icing. Put a little sticky paste around the edge of the bottom board and add the ribbon, overlapping the end and sticking into place with a little more paste. Pipe some scrolls onto each tier, adding little dots of icing at the end of each scroll and pushing a silver ball into each. Then paint all the piping with edible silver colouring. Cut 2 ends for both bows and stick them first onto the side of the cake. Make 2 double bows with the ribbon, tying a normal bow, then tying a second one on top. Stick the bows into position, then stick the bow onto the ends using royal icing. Then put some icing onto the back of the brooches and stick them in position, holding them in place until they're steady.